Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's Vane. With a little bit less than 2 weeks until New World of Tournament's release, I'm here to talk about one of our last topics regarding the beginner series. We've got a lot of skills to go over today, and I mean a lot of skills. Today, I'm highlighting all of the benefits of leveling them, how hard they are, and how much gold potential all these skills have. Now, before we start, if you like my videos, consider subscribing. It helps out more than you could ever imagine. And I'll also be streaming over on Twitch on launch day, so feel free to come check me out over there. Now, to start off with all the gathering skills, I would just like to say that all of these skills are relatively easy to level. It just depends on how contested you are during the process. Everything in New World is server side, so if the node's mined, you gotta wait for him to respawn. To start, we have mining. Mining is definitely one of the most profitable gathering methods, but at a cost of being the most contested. Especially for the first couple of weeks, I can guarantee you people will be running around the map, mining every single node they can find. The reason this skill is so great is because mining and the ingots you make from it end up being used in practically every gathering skill. Next, we have skinning. Skinning is by far the fastest gathering skill to level in the game. The materials you acquire are primarily used for players to level armoring, and it gives a massive amount of XP in the long run. Tired of questing? Just go skinning for a couple of hours. Now, onto logging. Listen, I'm not promoting deforestation, but I can't lie. It's pretty fun. Just watch out for the Lorax. In all seriousness, logging is probably the most brain-dead skill in the game. You can cut down every tree in New World and it gives XP. A perfect skill for when you don't really have the time or the energy to do anything. Now for harvesting, I just want to say that in my opinion, this is the most relaxing skill to level in the game. Whether it's harvesting hemp in Monarch's Bluff or gathering silkweave in Morningdale, you're definitely in for an immersive experience for running around collecting materials. While harvesting these materials don't typically fetch a high price, they can be crafted into items that will. Okay, and lastly, we got fishing. Fishing was actually my first ever max level skill all the way back in 2021. Now, I'll be honest, there isn't a whole lot of money to be made from fishing at this current moment in time. But if you're someone who wants the Grand Master title, this will be the time to sit down, watch some YouTube or a movie, and get to fishing. Oh, and I almost forgot, there's the music and the riding skill. The higher your music level, the better music buffs you can unlock. You literally just level this skill by playing music. And upgrading the riding skill is just as simple as doing all of the mount quests and you'll be max level. Alright. All of these gathering skills do have their respective refining skills. This is where you can take all the items you gathered or bought and craft them into a material used for crafting. Think like iron ore into an iron ingot, hide into leather, and so on and so forth. These are going to sync up exactly with the gathering skills: smelting, tanning, woodcutting, and weaving. All of these skills, once maxed, allows you to make prismatic items that are in a daily cooldown. These are the big money makers. If you can afford the time or the gold, I highly advise crafting these every day because either A, you're going to need them at some point, or B, they will sell for a very high price on the trade post. Now, there is one refining skill that I believe is worth going into a little bit more detail to for the sake of you, the viewer. Now, stone cutting involves exactly what it sounds like, cutting stone, but leveling this skill gives the ability to craft tuning orbs to access New World's arenas. And maxing the skill allows you to make prismatic blocks, which you will need if you want to craft certain matrices, which we will talk about shortly. And just a little random tangent here, if you are leveling smelting, please do not waste your money on coal. Just go hit some trees, please. Now, before we get into the trade skills, I would like to talk about all the unique skill-related gear. Firstly, we have all the gathering sets. These are pretty simples. These items increase your gathering luck, which increases your chances of harvesting rare materials. Also, the max tier gathering sets all have additional yield on them, but these sets are pretty hard to obtain. Refining sets increase your chance to double craft. All the items are farmable for you to collect. Collecting all 5 pieces for a respective refining skill will give you an additional 10% chance to double craft, which is crazy in the long run. And crafting sets are a whole other beast of their own. Crafting sets boost the maximum gear score you will be able to craft. All of these pieces of gear are farmable around Eternum from various bosses and mobs. Now, if you want to craft max in New World, you're gonna need trophies as well. Trophies are quite hard to obtain, and I'm just going to put it like this for simplicity's sake. To craft max level items in New World, you're going to need 3 houses, each of them with a max level trophy. Trophies are obtained by collecting rare items from open world chests and crafting them at the furnishing station. I'm going to be honest, trying to farm all these trophy mats by yourself is crazy, as the odds of you managing to pull all the 6 trophy mats that you need is highly unlikely due to how many different trophy items there are. What I can recommend is actually going out and farming chests in level 60 zones and above to have a chance at making some serious coin, and then buying the mats you do need with the profits. Before I get into trade skills, I would like to address a common idea in New World. If you're playing with a group of friends, you all should definitely pick different trade skills to level right off the bat. If your friend is going to level armoring, maybe you should hold off on leveling armoring and pick something else so you guys can use each other to craft separate items. Once again, just an idea, but being able to craft max gear in New World is quite the grind, so divvying up the responsibility is a great idea if you're not a solo player. Now, to begin the trade skills, we have weaponsmithing. Welcome to every bladesmith's dream. If you're interested in crafting the weapons that will win your allies their next war, or crafting best in slot items to list for big money on the trade post, then this skill's for you. I would like to preface this by saying weaponsmithing is probably one of the most expensive and time-consuming skills to level, as the majority of the items you need to make to gain XP all require ingots of different rarities. But being able to craft some of the best weapons in the game are quite useful in the long run. Being a max level weaponsmith also allows you to craft the weapon matrix, and every single artifact over to the game needs a weapon matrix to fully upgrade. If you're one of the first people to start making these on the game's launch, you are bound to make insane profit on crafting these. Everyone I know who has leveled the skill ends up being a big baller, I'm just saying. Now armoring. On the complete opposite side of the spectrum, armoring is an amazing skill. Most of the skill can be leveled by grinding skinning, which just so happens to be one of the easiest gathering skills. Honestly, you could probably max the skill out manually with only like 20 hours of farming, assuming you're uncontested, which is insane for a trade skill. Not to mention that being able to craft armor ends up becoming super useful in endgame. But you know what I like armoring the most for? Being able to craft bags. Going from your crappy starter bags to being able to hold 2,000 pounds worth of crap in your inventory is every unorganized ADHD having player's dream. Now, fully leveling armoring also allows you to craft the armor matrix, which lets people max out their armor artifacts. Same thing as weaponsmithing. If you're able to craft these, you're making bank. On to engineering. Bows, muskets, blunderbuss, ammo, and every single gathering tool in the game. This is where you're crafting them. Engineering has always been a super easy way to make some gold just from its ability to craft ammo to make money on the trade post. Now, I would love to highlight probably my favorite thing about engineering is the ability to craft artisan tools once reaching max level engineering. These tools have, debatably, god rolls on them. So in trade for leveling the skill, you get the, debatably, best tools in the game for gathering. These are buy on pickup, which means they're untradeable, so only those who take the time to level engineering are getting these. Jewel crafting. Okay, if you're a returning player, I'm obligated to tell you this. Cutting gems has been moved from stone cutting to jewel crafting, so no more spam crafting amulets, etc. to level the skill. Thank God. Anyways, there's not a whole lot to say about jewel crafting, but just know that this is where you're cutting all of your gems now, which can have insane profit depending on the price you pay to get them. Mutations in New World change every single week, which means players are going to need new gems to protect against the modifiers that week. If you can buy and get the gems at a good price, you're making money. Something to note is that maxing out the skill also allows you to craft jewelry matrices, which people are gonna need. Onto Arcana. It's also pretty simple. The Arcana skill allows you to craft potions, ward pots, and coatings, and all the magical weapons. To be honest, mass crafting potions is a great way to level the skill, as you can craft max level potions at only Arcana 150, and potions will always sell. To be honest, depending on the market, there's always potential to make insane bank with the skill. If you know a lot of people are going to be buying potions at X time due to X event coming up, you can make insane money with this skill. Now on to cooking. You get to make all the food buffs. To be honest, this skill is really good for early game XP, as the skill is insanely easy to level, and towards the max level, everyone is looking for max level attribute food, so there's always money to be made here. Now finally we have furnishing, and holy smokes, this skill is bad. Leveling this skill to max is practically a money pit, but once you max out the skill, you'll be able to craft trophies, and trophies grant global buffs to players when placed in their houses. So what you do is you sell your ability to craft items to people in trade chat, if you want. In all honesty, a huge recommendation of mine is to participate in the ECR, or the Global Elite Chess Runs. This is a great way to get schematics to help you level furnishing, as well as earning rare materials for trophy crafting, etc. Oh, and leveling furnishing is a must if you want your house to be pretty. What's up, everyone? A little bit of unscripted vein here. I just want to thank everyone so much for the support. 200 subs in less than 3 videos is kind of insane, and I haven't really known how to handle it. I've been a little stressed out, but we do have another video coming out next week on Friday. It'll be October 11th, a summary video of a lot of the things we've talked about, along with some more tips and tricks for you guys. And as well, I'll be going live October 15th, twitch.tv/Vane. Please feel free to check me out. I'll be there. If you have any questions, I will be there to answer them. And yeah, thank you guys so much. Don't forget to leave a like, maybe sub, comment down below. And I'll see you next time.